Okay, so let me go back to what I was saying earlier. The other sort of metaphor I was able to connect it to just randomly, just by miracle, just as I was talking. And this is going to end the episode because I don't want this to be too long. I paused it and I was like, oops, going too far. And I realized if I end it with this, it goes along with my plan anyway. I already mentioned it. There was nothing else when I think about this episode, what I've said so far. There's nothing else I would add to it to finish this. I could just get into other subjects, but since that's not the goal, this last sort of metaphor I want to share sort of concludes what I was trying to help you remember, and the sort of advice that I'm trying to tell you, which is what I'm trying to help you remember. Because it's advice to some degree, but I'm saying help you remember because to some degree as well, right? Okay, you're like, what do I mean? I mean, except the sort of metaphors that I was using, still the advice I gave you, you already heard it before, right? Just live your life, don't get problems, like that. The sort of things I said are not necessarily new to you. So it's really just something I'm trying to help you remember. But I'm calling it advice, which sometimes people don't know. You know what I mean? And some people do know. It's subjective. Because this is the part that then would really connect to more like the metaphor, right? You know some part of this because it's metaphor, right? Unless you've heard me tell you this before, you don't know. And part of the advice is something you do know. You know what I mean? So it's advice, but it's also a reminder. A reminder is obviously something you do know, but advice could be something you do or don't know. So that's why it's both an advice and a reminder. So, yeah, why do problems come back? In the sense that they're not the same problems, but just something big, a bigger problem that sort of new comes out to attack you when you're trying to get to something. You're almost there at the success level, and then you feel like you're being pulled back in life again. You feel like you can't do this because, right, this bigger problem came out all of a sudden. Or maybe it's a problem prior that you saw, but this time it's bigger, right? It has new features, basically, like some creature. It has bigger wings or something like that. This is when God is trying to use that situation to show you his own greatness, his own qualities as a creator. So it's rarely about you at this point. Because when it was really about you and God wants you to use the human strength he gave you, right? It's still his power. He gave us these qualities, right? Free will or natural instinct to fight and do the best we can. All that's from him anyways. It's not like we're independent and relying on ourselves, right? Or anything. You get me? It's his own design that he gave you, so he's still the one we would praise, not ourselves. But he created it in a way that we're somehow engaging qualities he created us with, like unlocking it or something. We have to like press it, for it to become active or something. We have to sort of do something in order for qualities he gave us to actually be used by us to succeed. So God is the one who's therefore great because he created us with those qualities, but it requires our engagement in order for the qualities he created in us to be used by us. So we're still going to pat ourselves in the back. You get me? We're not going to just say, it's only God who gave us that quality. You get me? It's just he's God. You're going to give him the praise. But you're going to pat yourself on the back because he created it in a way that you may or may not have used it. It's a free will. It's your choice. If you used it, he's proud of you. You're going to pat yourself on the back for that reason because you could have done the opposite. You may not have used it, right? Which is the human will, the will to fight. It's sort of uncomfortable to say that you're also going to acknowledge your own effort. Because some people can misunderstand and make it seem like I'm saying, right, we're equal to God or something. I don't know. Some humans, they just have a hard time understanding wisdom unless you explain it very well. It's you who did the work. You get me? God created you in a way that you do the work. Okay, but the ability to do the work and the qualities of you doing the work, right? What you actually did, not just the ability, what you actually did, right? You fought, you expressed yourself, you had a plan, you executed all the qualities of the actual ability that you used to actually get what you need. That's good, right? Because you can do bad things. That's obviously good, right? It's still from him. That's what I'm saying. You did the work, yes. But you're not going to then say, I did it. You get me? Because the actual ability to do it and then the qualities you used to do it was created in you by God. So it's him who made you succeed. Just not by force. He didn't make you succeed. He gave you the option to do that. You get me? He didn't take your free will and make you succeed. He didn't make you. But it's him that caused you to succeed, if you were to actually succeed. Because it's still his power that he created, right? That he used as a God of giving us qualities that would help us to succeed. And the qualities were created by him. So it's his power that we did the work. But because he created it in a way that it requires our participation, right? Our free will to use it or not use it, then he's happy and he inspires us and wants us to also look at ourselves, right? And not just him, and give him his greatness as a creator, right? Praise him, glorify him. But he also is okay with it. He doesn't see you as worshiping yourself. He's okay with you looking at yourself and saying, man, I did a good job on that test. You know? That's not like you worshiping yourself. But there are situations where maybe God just did a miracle, like an event. Right? Maybe the sky broke into two. You're not going to say that's you also using a power he gave you, right? And you pat yourself or something. You get me? That's entirely him now, right? In the sense that it doesn't mean the other time we're lessening it and saying it's not entirely him. You get me? We're not taking away his power or greatness in that situation. We're saying that situation, right? It is entirely him. The ability, the power that you had to actually do something good, not something bad, because that's not something he associates to himself. That's your choice. That's your will that you could obviously use to do bad if you wanted. You get me? The opposite of you doing something good with the ability he gave you. You could give up and not do what you're supposed to do. You could go be an evil person like that. So it doesn't mean, I always get a thought from evil demons always saying, oh, so God just doesn't like to attribute bad things to himself. When a human doesn't succeed, he doesn't attribute that to himself. Oh, but if they were to succeed, he attributes that to himself. See, there's noise right now, but I'm not going to stop my recording because I'm in a good trail and I don't want to lose my train of thought. Please ignore it. So, God have mercy. I still had to pause because it's so annoying. It's too loud. I don't want you to go deaf. So, yeah, let's talk about that because I'm sure you all get that intrusive thought too. Why, when humans do good and succeed or worship God and do righteous things, does God act like it's with his power they accomplished it? But if they do bad, or let's say it's not something evil they did, but they just didn't use their free will to succeed in life, right? That sort of low thing, low vibration, right? But it's not evil, right? You just didn't succeed. And how come God doesn't connect those two to himself like that? You know why? Because we said that he created you with the ability to do good, the ability to use your will from him, right? Your free will, and just will overall, like the will to succeed, not just a free will in terms of choice, to do what you want. And you can be succeeding, morally speaking, right? Like righteousness, or you can succeed materialistically, right? Like what you do in life. You do a good job in school, work, etc. Because that's actually something he put in you because he wants that to happen. He wants you to obviously succeed in life and succeed in your morality as a person. Do good. Things that don't make you evil, like alcohol that he hates. Tells you not to go near them, like that. That type of higher level of righteousness. You don't do those types of sins. So the other ones is actually about character. You evil or not. You want to hit someone or not, like that. Okay. So he didn't create the other option you have, right? The option to be evil and the option to just be lazy, right? Character or materialistic type of success. He didn't create that in you. He didn't do something to you that puts that into your system, and you have to fight with it, with both, and be like, which one should I do? Which one should I do? It's not like that, because that's not logical. That's not fair. That means you would be evil then, right? Why put evil and good in someone's body or mind? That's weird. God is good. He just created evil. Therefore, evil is external. It's not inside of you. It's external. Think of it as like a dark cloud over there, like a trash bag, okay? Not in your body. Okay. But he actually, this is how you know he's good, and he wants you to succeed, and he wants you to be good, just in terms of like evidence. Well, humans like to prove things, right? He put good in you. He didn't put both good and evil in you. He actually put good in you, even though good is also external too. It's also over there like a white trash bag, clear and good and nice over there. Just visualize a bag, okay? And visualize a dark trash bag over there, right? Since these colors are usually attributed to good and bad. I'm sure you're getting thoughts right now about dark-skinned people. Just ignore the evil thoughts like that try to irritate you and connect it to skin color. Remind your brain that colors have different meanings. We're not talking about living beings. We're talking about just color. And dark obviously is actually evil and usually goes with darkness. And light actually can never be attributed to evil, and it goes with good. Okay. So visualize two trash bags, okay, which is outside of your body, obviously, right? It's not in you. Visualize these two sources as something God created, right? He created it, but it's outside of you. So you can't even blame him for it. It's outside of you. It's your choice to go and, just like a cloud, right, absorb yourself into it, or let it absorb you, whatever you want to call it. You sort of like a couch, sit on it, and you sort of blend with it, whichever bag, you get me, good or bad. And at some point it possesses you. At some point it's no longer evil, right? At some point it's demon too. That would, like a living being standing next to the black trash bag, and they're just roaming around it like losers, like lunatics. And they're like, ooh, this human chose to be evil. They chose to be pulled to evil. That's their choice. They're looking at the dark bag and not the light. Hey, now we have permission to possess them. And then they actually possess you. And now it's actually a living entity or being that's absorbed with you. You get me? And no longer just the substance, evil itself, right? Just the concept itself, just evil. No longer is that the only thing in your body that is absorbed with you, right? But also a living version of it, an actual evil thing that also has evil in its body that absorbed itself with it, but it has a life in it. It's a demon. They're spirits, but they're called demon when they become bad. Now something living, right, that's darkness, is also in your body. So you have two types of darkness, or two types of evil that's actually in your body, absorbed with you if you're a bad person. Okay. So, okay, and light is over there, right? If you're a good person, you absorb yourself with light. It's in you. It's good. You're mixed with it too. Okay. Okay, but these things are outside of you, correct? God didn't create them and put them in you, correct? Okay, but he actually is good, right? And also the way to prove it is that he put qualities in you, such as the quality that you're always pulled to good, that you have free will, which is a good thing, right? Evil, the version of free will, if it was evil, would be no freedom, right? Control. So if God gave us free will, and he gave you the will to succeed, right? The will to, just as a human, survive, right? We all try to survive. That's how we got to this point, right? In human civilization, we didn't go extinct. We just have a will to survive and a will to succeed. Survive is more like right? Survival, like food, you're sick or whatever, you're gonna go look for food like that. For health like that, if you're sick. If you're hungry, you're gonna look for food like that. The will to survive in this difficult life, and the will to succeed. And the will to do other good things too, like the other one, the only other one you could think of. The will to have good moral character, which applies to people who want to change, who weren't like that in the beginning. And people who are always like that at the beginning, they were always good. They're just going to have the will to always be good. You get me? They're never going to lose the will technically because they're already good. You get me? They're not pulled to evil. That's what makes them different than you. It's just that it's always there. It's always going to push them to be more moral than that. You get me? Just always want to improve. But you don't have to see it that way if that sort of confuses you. Okay, so he created qualities in us. He actually put it in our system, our body, our brain, that are actually from the light side. Get it? The trash bag that was light, it symbolized good, right? Think of that as just a concept, just good itself. Has no living being in it, right? It's not a living thing. It's just good. Good, the Good, just good. He created that as an external thing he just created. But he also created qualities from it, right? From good that we would never put in the evil, right? The dark trash bag. It's from good, these qualities. He also created that in you. So for that reason, when you're born, you're just good in the sense that you're innocent. We wouldn't say you're good because good can become evil, right? In a sense, humans are just empty. They're blank. They're innocent. They're ignorant. Maybe that word makes you more comfortable instead of innocent. Okay, and they choose. But we actually choose from early on if we want to be good or bad, just so you know. Some people just grow up being good people, right? They chose. And the kids, as they grow up, you can see them. They're becoming bullies and crazy like that. They chose. So the ones who chose to be evil over time as they age is because the qualities God put in them, just like the good kids, just like the good humans, they're just ignoring it. They're going against their nature, therefore. See, good is our nature. That's how you know. Because nature means something you're created with. So if God created those qualities in us, a natural desire to succeed, which comes from good, I just told you, cannot come from evil. Evil says go do suicide, So then when people do quit, when people do actually do suicide, that's how you know that evil came and entered their life. Correct? There you go. It's not their nature to just want to give up and die. It's not their nature. Our nature is to survive and fight. Okay? So then why would you not think God created you with it? Why would you think it's just external qualities you have to go develop? No, it's already inside of you. You're created with it. Because you would agree with me that's your nature. Unless something external comes and changes you, which is that black bag, darkness, and puts bad thoughts and emotions into your system. See, it put it into your system. It put it into your body and mind. You might be like, what the hell? Isn't that the same as God putting it into my system? No, God created you with it. Look at the word create. You're created with it. It's your identity. Putting it into your system means like a thief throwing a bag into someone's house. Is that the building, the way the building was designed by the architect? No, right? It's just an external thing that was thrown in. Guess what that means then? Yeah, you can throw it out. They throw emotions and thoughts into our bodies and minds every day. That's depression, anxiety, anger, fear, rage, right? Including envy, hatred, which causes you to then be evil human. And then there you go, thoughts. None of it belongs to us. It was thrown into our house, which is our body. It was thrown into our system, which means that we can throw it out because we're not created with it. And the other way you know we're not created with it is who threw it to us. A living being, right? A demon. They use witchcraft. They whisper to us. If it was our identity, then God would create us with it. I just told you they threw it to us. God doesn't throw things. The word throw. I'm intentional using the word throw. 2. Exactly. God is good. But he's not going to create us with evil. He's not going to create us with darkness. 2, he's not going to do that, because then what the hell? How would he expect you to be good then? Correct? So the reason why God expects you to be moral and good, and he doesn't think it's his fault if you become evil, he doesn't fault himself, is because he actually has a reason. He's not just doing that because he's God and powerful and just randomly made this rule. No, it's because he didn't create you evil. He didn't create you with evil either, which is not the same thing. You created evil means you're actually evil, correct? You just created that way. Versus you created with evil means like the demon, he threw something into you. He didn't do that either. Such as people say, God made them homosexual. He didn't make you homosexual, which is the example I said, he created you evil, right? And he didn't do the other version where they act like God at least sent them the feelings of homosexuality if he didn't create them with it. You know, he didn't throw it to you either. Either way, when they say it, it implies injustice on God's part. Even if they don't make it seem as if they're saying he's unjust. It just seems like maybe they're just blaming him. Right? And I'm sorry, not blaming him. Let's use a different word. Even if they're just making it seem like he did it. You get me? Not necessarily blaming him, but it's him who did it to us. Like that. They make it seem like that, right? Still, look at the way they speak when they say it. It seems like they're lying, right? It seems like they're accusing or blaming God rather than just describing God. You get me? Because they're lying. They're basically saying he's like a creation. A creation can throw something to you, correct? They can be a criminal. They can throw something at people that doesn't belong to them. You might be like, why are you connecting the fact that they throw something to us to the fact that it doesn't belong to us? Because if it belongs to you, you'd have it already in your possession. It belongs to you. Why you got to throw it to them? That means it didn't come from you. It came from them. That's why they have to throw it to you. I'm using terminology very intentionally, everyone. Please pay attention. Things come to you externally like that black bag. Whatever darkness is inside of it, if you were to open it, is basically evil. Drugs, alcohol, porn, envy, hatred, perversions, such as LGBT, raping others, molesting others, invading people's personal space, all types and levels of perversion, being sexist, whatever, all types of the quality of a pervert. And then the other ones, being violent, which then higher level would be like murder. Lower level would be like violent way you just act, you know, your tone, your attitude. And then middle ground way would be more like violence, but not murder, you know? Okay. Other qualities like thief, really stealing something from people, will be like the higher level of this character of a thief. They're like different characters: the pervert, the murderer, the thief. Okay, but then if you go down, because that's their third level, that's their high level. They have level 2, medium, and level 1, beginning, or whatever you want to call that, beginning or starter. Okay, so the character of a thief, beginning would be more like just the way they might gossip or project qualities to you that are not your own, right? They're stealing your identity or your personality or whatever. You're actually beautiful and they're jealous of you, and they might stare at you with dirty looks, acting like you're ugly or whatever. Or not to say that that's how you should look at people who are ugly, but you get me. Or they just might lie. You get me? They're projecting it. They're not saying anything is what I meant. They're using body language. Or they might actually gossip and giggle and smirk and look at you as they do that, acting like you're not your quality. You might have explained something correctly and they might giggle as if you didn't. Projection. Okay, but it's also to some degree verbal now, right? A little higher level than just projection. You know? They're using behavior that's sort of verbal because they're gossiping. We could also put it on the action too, right? Because they're actually doing a behavior too, not just talking, which also is a behavior, I know, but it's verbal, right? More than a behavior. But then behavior, the fact that they actually looking and staring and laughing as they do the verbal act of gossiping. That's like beginner level of a thief. They're stealing the truth. You get me? Because you might be like, where do we put these people who are more like harassers, who are more like bullies, if they're not actually doing things like violence or perversion, right? They're just beginner level. They're usually doing things like this, just harassing people. You might be like, what character fits this one? Like the thief, you know? And then they might actually start to steal things from you, physical objects, things in your own body, right? Like someone died, they steal their organs, maybe, like that. I feel like this one, I don't know if it has a medium. It feels like just low level and high level. Because I'm thinking of examples right now of sabotage, or like the demons I have to deal with. Possessing people every day, all they do is just sabotage my life just by lying about me. So, right, act of lying doesn't seem like it's connected to a thief. But they use the act of lying to steal from me, correct? My job, something else that's sort of physical or materialistic, maybe my quality, right? I'm a moral person, but they accuse me of being a criminal. You just stole my identity, right? Defamation of character. You're stealing someone's character or honor, like that. You're stealing something either way. You're stealing something if you accuse people, because you're stealing their character. That right? You're acting like they don't have. They're a truthful person. You accuse them of being a liar. You just stole their character, right? How people perceive them. That's also a possession. Our character is like a possession, right? Something we possess every day. We carry it around every day. Our character, our personality. What if a demon does witchcraft to you and you struggle to be authentic? Well, they're stealing something from you. They're actually stealing your authenticity, correct? Don't just be like, I lost my authenticity. Well, how did you lose it? They stole it from you. They didn't come up to you and ask you to give it up. What the hell? Right? Who would agree to that technically, unless a wicked person? It's still stealing. It's just that type of human who agrees to crime being done to them. That doesn't mean crime wasn't done, right? So do you get me? These behaviors that we would say is more like how Christians call the devil a thief, a liar, whatever they call him, right? He comes to steal, kill, and destroy, like that. The behaviors that are more like harassment, sabotage, accusation, these things that are not necessarily violence-based, right? They're not touching the person's body. They're not necessarily stealing a physical object. People don't know what this type of human who does this, right? Who sort of uses their mouth usually to create nonsense, right? Lying about people, harassing people verbally, like that, or psychological torture, like gaslighting someone. Maybe you lose things in life, you just become poor, like that. You don't know what to label these humans because they're not doing the other qualities of the other characters. The pervert, the other one is the violent one or the murderer. The other one is physically a thief. He actually steals things. You're like, what the hell? Where do these ones go? They're thieves. But they're stealing things that are not visible or physical. They're stealing your character, your identity, right? Which is things like your authenticity, your morality, right? Things like your character in the sense of if you're innocent or not. And they accuse you of being a criminal when you're not. Okay, that's like defamation of therefore character. That's why people use the word character. They don't say theft of character. They say defamation. But what did they do when they defamed your character? They stole your actual character. Let's call that A. And they gave you B, right? Something you're not. So they stole it. Because if they didn't steal it, then they cannot portray you as B. No one's going to think someone's A and B at the same time, correct? No one's going to think you're both a righteous person and a pervert at the same time. No one's going to think you're a criminal and a law-abiding citizen at the same time, correct? You can't mix evil and good character together. So in order to give you a bad character that you don't have, right, whether it's the whole package, they just call you an evil person overall, or they just give you a certain maybe quality, right? They just say you only did bad in this area, but you're moral in other areas, whatever. They still had to steal A from you, your real actual character, in order to give you B, the opposite of it, you know? So they're actually stealing in order to accomplish lying about others or accusing others. They first have to take quality A in order to give you quality B. They cannot just give you quality B. They have to first or just by in effect of giving you quality B, just by in effect, just by just the nature of giving you, let's not use the word nature, just by the consequence of giving you quality B, it already means quality A has to be knocked out. And it just has to get out of the picture, right? If they say you're a bad employee, you just harass the customer. Like they try to always accuse me. When crazy customers harass me, and they want to protect themselves, right? And they accuse me of harassing them. They just run behind me and report you to a manager randomly who wasn't there. Okay, they can't accuse me of harassing them, something that didn't happen, unless they take my character, an innocent, moral, good person, and give me theirs, B, a horrible, evil human who walks around harassing random people, which is who they are. So they have to take my character first in order to give me their character. Or some other character that maybe they don't necessarily have, but they want to accuse you of. You get me? Okay. I need to remember what I was talking about originally. So these qualities, right? Psychological torture, accusations, things that damage people's lives, but it's not taking something physical away from them, nor is it physically touching their body, no sort of physical abuse, is the thief. He comes to steal. These demons come to steal your identity. Your gender is your identity, right? And the other parts of your gender, like how you sort of act, right? Like masculine or feminine, that's also your identity. Authenticity is your identity. They always want to make you act fake or scared of others' opinions, and you sort of act different. Maybe pushing you to lie. Not that kind of lie from an evil place, but lie from a place of fear. Maybe people call it white lie. You get me? Someone says, hey, can I visit you? And you're like, oh, no, I'm actually busy today. That type of lie. Not someone who's trying to hurt others. That kind of evil lie. Not that one. But the evil devil right in your, which is like the thoughts in your head, might have pushed you to agree to do the sin. Made it seem like it's not a big deal, right? So they're just making it seem like you're just protecting yourself maybe from someone visiting you because you don't want them to visit you that moment. You already know what to do, right? If you're not a moral person, what people would do in that situation is just simply say it's not the right time, like that vagueness. Don't tell the truth, correct? Don't be like, I don't want you visiting me if you're not in a situation where you would comfortably say that to someone, right? It doesn't fit maybe or whatever. Just say it's not the right time. So you told the truth, correct? It's not the right time. But you didn't lie. You didn't lie and say you're actually at a sauna or something when you're somewhere else. And don't go to saunas, obviously. It's disgusting. You shouldn't take your clothes off and be mixed with the same gender and be naked around each other. I don't know how the hell that came into my mouth, the word sauna. I think God might have allowed that to enter my mouth or put that in my mouth in the sense that he wanted me to now tell you that's a sin. You get me? Because I probably wouldn't have ever brought that up usually. I think I might have brought that up in who knows in a past episode. I talked about Asians. Whatever. You get the point. It just helps you, right? That's what I'm saying. I think the devil put that into my mouth, though. I just think God used it to remind me to connect it to morality and teach you his perspective on it. Like that. I really think it was a thought from the devil. Because I saw it attacking me. So God helped me. So like that. Let me finish this, okay? So good by itself is a concept. But some qualities of good some qualities of good, like just the idea that we're created to always strive to succeed and do good things, and right, that's sort of our nature to strive and work hard. God created that sort of strength, because good is many qualities, right? Like this is like strength, right? He created that in us so that we would use that to obviously deal with this life and fight evil. God did not create us to be lazy and do the opposite of that sort of strength. You get me? That's demons sending that to us from that bag of darkness, right? It's just a concept, right? It's just evil. Okay, but in order to send us a certain quality of evil, because evil has many symptoms, right, or qualities that make it evil. It's like a box of qualities, right? Liar, like many things, right? They just pick one based on what that moment they want to do to your life. Procrastinating is not evil, obviously. It's just not healthy. I mean, the idea, right? The idea that you just become someone that has that problem. It didn't come from God, correct? It didn't come from you, correct? So where did it come from? Them. So I mean, it's evil in that sense. I mean, like how it entered you is from a source of evil, correct? Because they're trying to use it to actually prevent you from success. Oh, so that we were connected to evil in this example. Because what it's causing you is that demons are using this one quality, right, of trying to get you to not want to work hard in life. They want you to develop that quality. Is that not evil? It is. You don't want someone to be working hard and use their nature to succeed in life. So they're going to send it to you. You're going to use witchcraft, pick a quality they want you to develop. The witchcraft is like the gun that shoots it at you, you know? And it's going to send it to you. And then the bullet is like the feelings and the thoughts that then are going to try to teach you, right? Just agree with what the bullet is doing to you. The bullet causes you pain, right? So in this sense, the pain, right, what it's causing you is like the emotions and the thoughts, not the bullet. The gun is the witchcraft. The bullet is the feelings and the thoughts that the witchcraft carries, that it wants to put into your system. The gun is just the means to put it into your system. But the actual bullet, right, itself is the actual problem here. It wants to put emotions and thoughts in you. But the emotions and the thoughts cannot come from nowhere. They have to come from something. It's being sent by the witchcraft. Now, who the hell sent the witchcraft? The demons did. You get Okay, so then the bullet is going to be the symptoms of the gun. You get me? Just like the emotions and the thoughts it wants to put in you. Okay, and then the way the feelings and the thoughts make you behave once you sort of don't fight with it, but you allow it to consume you, because you get to fight with it, right? Now is the actual person you become. Someone who is just lazy, doesn't want to work hard, and like gives up on life. So it's evil then, because they sent that quality to you. That's not your quality. At some point it becomes your quality. People observe you long enough and see that's how you are, right? So even things that don't make you evil, you being lazy, that quality is not from God either. You get me? Anything that's not healthy is not from Him. He just created it. Like that bag, it's just external, it's just sitting over there. But someone's grabbing it, putting it, right, into like a dough shape, right? Just a shape that you could say can be put into something, because it needs to become small in order to travel. They, wrinkle it into a shape, like a bullet shape. Okay, then they put it into a gun, and they shoot, and the gun is the witchcraft. And they just shoot it at you. They send you witchcraft. When they send you witchcraft, the witchcraft is not a living thing, but it's like has a mind of its own. It obeys what it's told to do. It comes at you. It comes to you. Hey, go to that person. It's like, okay. It's sent to you. How can it come to you if it doesn't have a mind of its own? It obeys it. That's how just God created it. It comes to the person it was sent to. You get me? Just like the gun is pointed at you and you press it, the bullet goes out. How the hell does the bullet know where to go? It doesn't, right? It just goes where it was thrown at. It's like that. Witchcraft is like that. Wherever they point that gun, whatever comes out of that gun will reach you, correct? If you don't get out of the way. You get me. So witchcraft is that gun. They grab something from that bag, they split open, some quality of evil, whatever that is. Maybe the sin of LGBT, or it's not a sin this time, but a problem. They want to make you poor. They send you a witchcraft where everywhere you go, you lose your job. Or maybe you develop sicknesses all the time because they just create situations that would normally make someone sick, So they can't cause you sickness. Only God can create disease. They can push you to be sick, correct? Like you forget to wash your hands. You just become lazy. That's what I'm saying. Laziness is not from us, because it's going to cause us problems like this at some point. Okay, or things like they send you a witchcraft that is trying to get you sick, in the sense that people might give you food that always has bacteria or poison. Intentional or unintentional. It's just the intention is from the demon who sent you the witchcraft. And to some degree, there are certain things demons can't just attack the human race with. To some degree, some of their powers, like some of their witchcraft, requires a human to look at you, feel hatred or envy towards you, and they send you the witchcraft. So even the demons are limited. Even though they're, right, like an external species over there, they were there before us. They started targeting us before we were even here. So you would think it's all them who are doing all the nonsense. They're limited. Otherwise, that'd be too dangerous, right? They'd attack everybody the exact same way. You would agree some people, their life is okay and some is not. Because someone over there, a human, they can consume them, possess them, teach them witchcraft, and that human now does the actual witchcraft to so-and-so over there at their job that they're jealous of. And they might get fired. Okay, but if that human didn't feel that way to someone over there, they didn't send them witchcraft, well, that person's job is now good to go. You see, so you have to pray against demons, yes. That doesn't mean that God is not going to protect you from humans. No, who taught the human to do the witchcraft? Who made that human look at you with envy in the first place? The demon did. You might be like, what? Humans have free will, they choose to be evil. Yes, but when they're born, they're ignorant. They're like an empty box. And those two external sources of good and evil God created, right? Just the concept of good and the concept of bad or evil, God just created it over there. It's your choice to go and blend with whatever one you want, right? Like actually sit on the bag and it absorbs with you. So who pulled you to the dark one? Because God doesn't pull us to darkness. So who the hell pulled you there? You get me? Yes, you're evil. You chose it. But something still had to pull you and call you. That's what I'm saying. Something either way called you to it. That doesn't mean if demons didn't exist, that then evil would not be possible for a human to choose. That it's possible. It just means things would be different. It would just mean it's exactly what you think. It would just be different. Just visualize a world where demons don't exist, right? The devil didn't swear to God that he would attack human beings. He didn't get kicked out of heaven. Just visualize if that story didn't exist and God just created good and evil and only us are here and there's no such thing as demons who can possess you or anything. Then same thing would happen. Ignorant humans are born. They see good and evil. They just choose where they want to go. Okay? They would just see it and choose. And in this situation where demons are around, they still see it and choose. But it's like the demons are, look at my words, also pulling them. Keyword, also. It's not always what we would say, right? They necessarily pulled you in that sense. You get me? Think of them as, you know, be like, that's confusing me. Okay. Visualize when a human chooses evil and a demon is pulling them to evil as happening simultaneously. It could be it's happening simultaneously. You just saw evil, you know? Which I mean like bad behavior in this world. You just saw something bad. You saw sin, whatever. Do you see what I'm saying? You have to first see it. And then that sort of feeling, it seems like a feeling, right? That's sort of pulling you. That's the demon responsible for that. Not necessarily them. Because that could just be the witchcraft pulling you this time and not their thoughts. But still that pull is coming from the demon. Whether it's just them whispering to you only, or they're whispering to you and also using witchcraft to pull you. Then you'd be like, what's the difference? The witchcraft will just make the pull stronger. You see? And there are people who they don't necessarily see evil with their own eyes. But they just using their thoughts as demons, right? Just whisper to your ears. It comes to you as a thought. And they just slowly teach you bad. To just think bad. Just be jealous of someone. Just be hateful like that. This time you're not seeing something. They're just using the power to just whisper to your ears. And when you see, still your choice. When you reciprocate, when you agree with the thoughts, when you're like, yeah, I'm going to be jealous and envious and perverted and creepy. When you start to agree with those filthy thoughts and emotions that don't belong to you, is coming to you from an external place, then they have permission. You see, because they're not forcing it on you, they have permission to increase it. But if you were like, what the hell did I just hear? You don't like evil. They disappear. They leave you alone. You give it power. That's why you're going to go to hell. God is not going to put demons in hell for your sin. They're going to go to hell for their sin. And you might be like, what about good people? Are you saying they don't get evil thoughts? Yeah, they don't. You know, someone like, I'm not trying to be arrogant, but someone like me, I don't get evil thoughts about people. I don't get envious thoughts. I don't get jealous thoughts. I don't get any bad thoughts. Get it? Because from the beginning, my soul chose good. I saw the 2 bags. I chose good. So because I'm good, right, I absorbed myself with it. Evil, I don't see it. You get me? It's disgusting to me. Demons cannot then wave their hand at me. Hey, excuse me. Yeah. Do you see me? Come over here. They can't talk to me like that. They can't pull me. You might be like, how did that transfer? That's just like a metaphor, right? I was just giving you an example of something calling you. That's just a metaphor. But how does it look like? Thoughts and emotions. Thoughts and emotions of envy, hatred. That's how it starts first. It starts with envy. Then it becomes hatred. Okay, and then qualities of evil itself. That's just like how to become evil, those 2 emotions. Okay, well, the hatred caused something. Hatred to gender, maybe. Okay, now you're a pervert. Hatred to, and obviously at some point, you start to hate both genders, duh. And then you become a pervert to both genders, get it? So homosexuals hate both genders. They hate nature. They hate sexuality. They hate everything. They lost it. They're dead. They're dead, okay? But the other perverts who don't act like homosexuals are the same. I don't want you to think they're different. No. All perverts are homosexuals, okay? Because pervert just means they just like to treat the human body like that. Get it? Like some object to harm. And they like the idea of harming the body. They don't see it like an honorable thing. You get me? Okay, so not honorable thing, so an honorable being. They don't have honor, therefore. They're disgusting. So that means if someone tried to touch them or harm them, they don't feel anything. They don't see that as disgusting, inappropriate, or nasty, or filthy. Just to act normal to other people, they might report that human who tried to touch them, but they don't mind. Okay, so are they not filthy? If you don't mind being raped or touched or bothered yourself, you're nasty. So because you don't have honor, you don't have the quality to honor your own body and get angry, if something that filthy tried to touch you, that's how then you're able to do that to others. Get it? That's how you're able to run around staring and being creepy, and because you don't see your own body honorably. So someone who's not a pervert, who hates it, it just means they honor that body God gave them. They literally love their body. They honor it. The way you would agree with me, you should, right? You would agree with me that's a normal person. It's your body, get it? It's you, therefore, you're honoring when you honor the body. It's you, so-and-so, whatever your name is. You would agree with me, you deserve honor. But you may not attribute that to your body when you're a pervert. You don't honor the body. But if you interview a pervert right now, you're like, hey, does a human have honor? Yes. The so-and-so, that human over there, do they have honor? Are they an object or a human with rights? They're human with rights. They have honor. Okay. But then that moment, bring a pervert, ask the pervert to touch them. They're not going to get angry. They're not going to punch them. Because that didn't transfer to their body. Therefore, they don't believe that human has honor. They were just lying, just saying what you expect them to say so they don't look crazy. So they don't expose themselves. That means in order to honor the body, you first have to honor yourself. You are not your body. You're separate. So people who are moral or good, and then higher than those people who are righteous, right, the best of God's creation, it means they honor themselves first. Because we don't have a body. God brought us to this physical earth. He gave us a body. You get what I'm saying? You're not really your body. You have an identity first, right? Like your personality, your gender. That's who you are. You get me? Like that. So you honor yourself. Okay. Then whatever embodies you, whatever makes you you, which is, what's that? Your body, right? You're going to honor that. just like yourself. So it doesn't mean you honor your body less than yourself. No, in order to identify first what the self is not the body, get it? The self is you, the person. Okay, so if you honor you, the person, guess what you're gonna honor? Every other living being God created, not just those who have a body like you, which is only your species. So that's why someone who's not a pervert and who hates perversion, who's a good moral person, honors other species. They would never be someone who would touch animals. They would never be creepy towards spirits. You get me? If someone told them that demons can come to you in a dream and try to be perverted to you, they would never agree to that. You get what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I don't know how to explain. They honor themselves. So then they observe themselves and they see that they have a body, whatever that is, right? Male or female. And they honor that body. So if you dare to touch them like me, they'll kill you. Just like I would kill you. It's only God who puts me in this persecution program where demons are made to do this by God, and they personally are not trying to bother me or touch me or anything when they try to get me to kill people. You know, they try to invade my space, try to touch you like your hand or whatever, because they want you to kill that human. So, like that. It's me that I see. It's me that I'm seeing if you were to act perverted. How dare you? That's what I'm feeling. So then my body, I see my body as me. So how dare you touch my body? I will kill you. It doesn't matter how big your body is, therefore. If someone is righteous like that, or not righteous but moral, and they think like me, they are stronger than you. They are the actual creation of God in the human race that's dominant. You can't ever touch or harm them. End of discussion. Because what did I just say? Honor. They're honorable. That gives you dominance in God's eyes. That gives you actual strength, bravery. You can take a knife. You've never touched a knife your whole life. You'll take it as if you've done it every day. And you'll kill this person. You get me? But if you don't honor the body, which is you don't honor yourself, you don't see yourself as beautiful and wonderful and great, and God created you right at the beginning with mercy. He didn't create you, you get me, in the way that perverts see themselves, a nasty thing. Okay, you love yourself, you honor yourself. Love and honor are not the same. You honor yourself, then you can love yourself, which is the next level, lower level. And now you honor everything about yourself, not just what you, the self, would be, your body. Then the other things that connect to the you, which is your wealth, your property, and then human beings, right? Not objects now, but living beings that are connected to you, like your friends, family. They're obviously good people. Well, now no one's going to touch them. You're going to kill whoever tries like that. But if you don't love them, right, let's say it's evil family, well, you're only going to do the right thing in that sense. You hate evil so much, like I do, you're going to obviously stop that harmful predator, whether it's a pervert, right? You're going to stop them because, get it, you hate them. You want to kill them. You see them like a wolf. You obviously want to kill them, but not the wolf in the sense of an animal wolf. Because, you get me, it's not obviously nasty or immoral, but, you know, we wouldn't connect them to that. Well, this is violation. Rape is not the same as murder, which is what a wolf is technically doing. He's like a murderer. But their murder wouldn't be the same as a human murdering someone. I don't think I have to explain this to you, sorry. I just meant you see them as a predator in the sense that you think they should die. So that's why human beings in human history would kill rapists and murderers and similar. You get me? They wouldn't beat them up and let them go because they actually deserve death. If they attempted to rape and kill people, get it? Attempt, not actually did it. Because that's not supposed to happen. Get it? And if they actually harmed people like that, well, then murder them now. That's their punishment. That's what they deserve. When we live in a world where God's laws are not there, and our nature that reminds us of his laws, which is I just told you, we kill predators, don't seem to take control in government, well, then they're not going to give them death penalty when they attempt and people maybe defended themselves or whatever. They're going to let them live. It doesn't mean they're not guilty like the ones who did it, just because they didn't do it. What the hell is wrong with you? It's because the person defended themselves. But if they were dealing with a weak person who allowed it, then would they have not done it? Okay, so it's someone that wanted to do it, so they are guilty, they're convicted. Why would you judge them from that perspective? As if they just chose to go back and didn't bother that person, didn't approach them and try to harm them. Why are you treating them like, get it? It was an evil thought, but they didn't act on it. Someone, an evil predator like that, you wouldn't kill. Why are you treating the one that was just stopped? You get me? Who actually tried to do it and would love to do it if they succeeded, but someone just stopped them. Why are you treating them as if they're not the same as the one who actually does it? Get it? Because it's not them who didn't do it. The humans stopped them. They defended themselves. If they were facing a human who didn't defend themselves, they would do it. Okay, so the intention is what you judge. Give them the death penalty. Treat them as if they did it, because they don't deserve to live. The second reason they don't deserve to live is they're gonna do it again. They're gonna look for a human that they could actually rape this time or kill. So they are therefore rapist and murderer. You don't have to actually do it to be one. You just have to have the desire, the quality, the ability, the intention. That's what a desire is. I mean, desire as in this, intention. To actually want to go around harming humans like that. That's it. That's all you need. You're actually going and attempting it. You actually want to do it. You deserve death. But some of them are running around this earth. You're not God. You don't know their thoughts, right? They have evil thoughts like that in their head. But they didn't go and attempt and act on it, correct? So, of course, you're not going to give them the death penalty. But you're going to just treat them as a filthy, predator, nasty, disgusting thing like the rapist. You're not going to be their friend. You're not going to mix with them. You're not going to... That's why you should avoid perverted humans. Because they are like the actual convicted one. They are the actual rapist. You might be like, why are you telling us that? We know that. We don't treat them like good people. Because I feel like human beings, because you're all so filthy and so immoral anyway. You don't honor yourself. You only treat the ones who do things as bad and not the ones who could. I'm trying to help you see how dumb you are. That you're lying. Because obviously that's not how you deep down think. Because that would be me trying to correct you. I'm not trying to correct you. You don't actually think that way. You're just lying. Because you're not moral like me. So when I see a perverted human, right? That's what I see. One who actually harms others. Get it? So that's why in my innate nature, I have a desire to kill them. Get it? I just won't do it. Because God, right, in his natural laws, says to only, right, attack the one that's trying to, right, and the one that did. Not the one that's carrying around that quality. You get me? That's just God's laws. If it was up to us, a creation, we don't need that. If we had the ability to know who someone is and what their thoughts are, we don't know people's thoughts, right? If we had the ability to know what a human's thoughts are, their level of evil, wouldn't governments create laws that just say, right, you read their mind, you have the evidence, right? Kill them. Wouldn't they just tell officers to just look for them and kill them? You get me? Because it actually means never in the human race would murder happen, rape happen, slavery happen, kidnapping happen, even thief. Nothing would ever happen, correct? Because the one that's carrying around those qualities, you killed them. Get it? Not the lower ones who are evil. The higher level, the ones who want to harm somebody's body. That's the ones you would kill. Okay, but if you knew as a human race who they are, would you wait until they actually run around with a gun? No. Duh, your logical mind and nature would say, let's stop them before they get a chance. Because you obviously don't like evil. You don't think it's normal. You don't think it should happen. So why would you let it happen? Why would you give it a chance to happen? You don't do this because you don't know their thoughts. Not because you're okay with them living until they attempt it. That's no. You don't do what I just told you would do because you actually don't know who's evil. You don't know who's actually right now walking in a mall looking for someone to rape versus someone in a mall looking for a pair of shoes to buy. So because you don't know, exactly, you're trying to be humble and not just running around. Like you're just portraying that to anyone. Where's your evidence? You're not God, right? But if you knew, you would see it as moral and righteous as a species to just go and kill them. That would not conflict with the way God created things, right? That we call some human beings to repent and change. And many obviously change and don't become predators. It wouldn't destroy this psychology. It wouldn't ruin this. Because I just told you, you see their thoughts. You'd separate them, get it? You separate the ones who are just becoming nasty and weird from the ones who are actually real deal predator. You get me? Like the real ones. Just wait a few hours or days or months and they'll go looking for someone to rape. You separate them from the ones who walk around saying rape jokes and stuff like that. Who are, again, very filthy, very harmful, yes. Doesn't mean they can say it without ever thinking of it. I don't believe that. I do believe they thought of it, and obviously that's why the words are coming out of their mouth. I'm just saying, you can separate them from the ones who you will actually say, actually go and do it. You get me? You actually would be able to, as a species, then study them, separate them, call this one who makes these types of nasty words as jokes. Call that a joke, it's not a joke. Call this one who's just perverted in the sense of as they're harming each other, they're not actually going after a victim, like homosexuals. You know, they're perverts, but not that type of pervert, like the rapist. Okay, you observe them, you separate them, get it? You just like I separate them, you'd separate them. And now you obviously ignore that homosexual, you just keep calling them to God. Okay, but the moment you realize they're trying to rape someone, boom, which can only come from a male, then you, okay, now you would say, okay, let's kill them. You get what I'm saying? It never conflicts with what God taught you to do. To call the ones who haven't actually tried to harm anyone. You know, they have a chance to go back. And then obviously God still tells you to tell them to repent. It's just they're going to go to hell, obviously. It still wouldn't conflict anything. Because you tell them to repent before you give them the death penalty. So I don't know how we got into the subject, but it's good to explain this stuff to you. So I'll end it here because I'd rather turn it into part 1 and part 2. Otherwise, it's going to get too confusing. But let's end it with this. God is good. He created us to always choose and naturally be drawn and like good, not evil. So when people say things like humans are naturally drawn to evil, they're lying. They should have instead said, this is what they meant. Unconsciously, they don't know what they're saying. Something's trying to pull humans to evil. Not every human, right? Because I just told you there are people who are good, and that's it. You can't flip them. You can't make them ever look at evil. You know? They chose good. They were always good. End of discussion. They never could be pulled. When we say human, we just mean the idea of a human, right? The sum of the human race, right? The ones who usually do go to evil, or who almost do, or like that. That's what they meant. It just means something's trying to pull them. So instead, the devil flipped it. He corrupted it to make it seem like, it's human's nature to be greedy, envious. Wow, he made it seem like it's a nature thing. I just told you, nature means you're created or born with it. That means it's normal to be that way then, according to God. He won't punish you for it because he did that to you. He made it your nature. Okay, you're not going to say God is going to ever let you get away with evil. Okay, so then he didn't create you with something that you would use as an excuse to try to get away with it, which is, hey, God, it's my nature. You did this to me. Then that means he would tell you, no, he didn't create you with it. And if he didn't create you with it, it means it's not your nature, because nature means you're created at something. Okay, so you already don't believe you're created evil. You don't believe you're created to be greedy and envious and jealous and crazy. No. You learn these qualities by something pulling you to it. So instead of you saying something dark is pulling me to evil, you're saying it's our nature to be pulled. No, you're blaming yourself. You're blaming your nature, and thereby you're blaming God. Wrong. And no, people don't do this by accident, just so you know. Only someone who's lying does this. These are not things people could actually believe, just so you know. They just know humans, right, in terms of a large majority, for some reason become more evil than good, correct? Okay, but then you're not going to connect that to somehow that just being what they're pulled to. No, I just told you something's calling them and teaching them to be evil, and they had a free will. They had a choice like good people do, because everyone's born as ignorant, not good. Ignorant, because that means good can become evil. That what are you trying to accuse us of, huh? You think I was evil first, then good, and you think I go back and forth? I can never go that dark way. Get it? It's not even possible. Okay, so no. You and I are not the same. You, the one who could be evil. Don't you dare put yourself on the same level as me and people who are close to God. Even if they don't worship a God, just in terms of, when I say close to God, I mean very moral. It means from the beginning, when you and I were born, I chose good. You didn't. Get it? You and I were just ignorant. We were equal. Don't be like, well, it's not fair. You had advantage over me. Hell no. You and I were both born ignorant. We're empty shells. That black bag is there and that white bag is there. It's just a concept, just good and bad, okay? And as darkness comes after you, because demons are sending it to you, and it's just created anyway, you'll be exposed to it. And good is, right, obviously you would say all over the place, right? Good is always around you. You just it's your heart. This is how you know everything is in your heart. Your heart is what's choosing where you want to go. According to you, what you like. Your choice, what you like. That doesn't mean that you like evil, goodness. No, it means you forced yourself. You went against your nature, which is to always be pulled to good. You weren't created good. No, you're pulled to it. It's your nature to go and be good and pick the side. You're empty shell. You're empty. It's your choice to go against such a strong pull. Get it? Like your nature. It's a big thing to overcome. It's your nature to be good. So you're actually fighting with your nature when you become a bad person. That's why it requires years and years of evil thoughts in your head. And then you really become a really horrible person. You might just think, what? I saw kids who were really young and they were really evil as hell. Yeah, but sort of observed them. They were at least 4, 5, 6, 7 years. They were here for some time. There you go. You're thinking there's no thoughts in their head when they were 1 or 2 or 3 or 4. You're thinking God wouldn't put them in that position to pick good or evil. I'm sorry. But we actually have a choice right from the beginning. We actually put in that situation. That's why toddlers, they observe you doing evil or you doing bad. They smile when they say good, when they see good. They love it when you, right, give them a kiss or you treat them with compassion. Okay, not the perverted one trying to touch and harm you. And when, right, they see a creepy human trying to touch them, trying to be creepy to them, and, right, they're trying to make it seem like to other people is a human kiss or compassion on the cheek. The baby's uncomfortable and cries. Please, you already are created, so wise, you're just not awake. You're already choosing to just express that nature God made in you, right? That this is evil and filthy and it's coming after you. Help me, somebody. You know, you're crying as hell. Or you can observe it. Observe it. Observe it over time. That's some toddlers, 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 years, they look at you. They look like a horrible, right, an adult or something. They actually look and observe. Then they actually start to develop the qualities of agreeing to those bad things that were being done to them. Or the things that they were seeing, like violence. Get it? In order to be evil, you actually have to observe it. That's how you know it's consciousness. You're choosing it in that consciousness part of you. You get me? You're choosing what you agree to like, even though you don't like it. You get me? Like means it's good, right? It's not good, so you don't actually like it. It means you're acting like you like it. You're forcing it on yourself because you're filled with so much hatred. So you're fighting with your nature to be loving, which is the opposite of hate. So we're all blank slates. We all choose who we want to be. Demons just simply are just trying to pull you to darkness. You choose. It takes a while for humans to choose evil, who usually end up being evil as adults. Observe them when they were kids, right? They still have a portion of morality, correct? But deep down in their heart, envy is there, hatred is there. Therefore, maybe they were bullying kids when they were young as they were growing up. Oh, but you meet them at the age of 20 and you tell them someone bullied you. They're going to act like they're a righteous person. Who did it? Huh? Who, where? Look, they're going to act like they're good or something. They actually felt empathy. What the hell? You just were gossiping about someone 5 minutes ago. Get it? They don't have that morality that is subjective to themselves. You know? They just know what the right thing to do is, and they seem to act like it when they're around others, but they can't seem to connect that to themselves. Not in the sense of they don't have the ability, because then that means it's God's fault, right? Are they innocent or something? No, they don't want to connect that to themselves when they're gossiping about someone they're jealous of and hate and acting hateful to. You get what I'm saying? But when you, a third party, come to them and tell them someone gossiped about you, acted hateful to you, they're going to just do the right thing. They know what society expects them to do. That's how you know they're manipulative. They're going to act like they don't like what that bully was doing to you. Why the hell are you then bullying someone else? Because when they looked at that person they were jealous of, you get me? I don't know how to explain. They're absorbed with their own hatred, their own insecurities, their own envy. They have their own insecurities, and they're using that to act like they have the right to be envious and hateful. They can never be confident, just so you know. So that's why evil humans, people always call them weak. You get me? Because strong really means you're confident. But also strong means you're moral. You get me? Which obviously is a quality of being moral. Confidence, right? It's a quality of morality, not immorality. So then if you're like, well, I saw evil people and they look confident, or like gangs or thugs, they're acting dominant, they're acting tough, it's an act. Goodness, the hell's wrong with you? And don't obviously observe movie characters. Those humans are acting. That's not what real gang members look like, right? You try to fight with them or you get a gun, they run. They're not like the characters in a movie who are the bad guys, right? They seem to act fearless and powerful. They seem to act like they have the qualities of righteous people, right? Like someone who's like a warrior for God Almighty or something, right? Like they're ready to fight over it. No. Observe real life human criminals like police go after. If you want to know what evil humans look like, they're weak, like, as you expect. One, because human, right? It's not God. But which human is stronger? The good one. Okay, so they're the weak one. So, okay, then weaker than the good one. They're going to run. Their body language is going to look weak. And you get me? As they run from the cop or whatever. That cop looks cool to you. Because that moment he's doing the right thing. Make him the evil one this time. Get him a gun. Tell him to go and not be evil and harm others. Now he's going to look like a weak little thing. Running around with their hands flapping. You get me? Morality makes you look cool. It makes you look strong. Because that moment, you're operating from a place of doing the right thing. So you're that moment stronger than that person who's evil. You, right, are evil too, but you were just doing that as a job. People are going to then see that quality in you, that you're just like that weirdo. Other times, you get me? But right now, they're not observing you. They're not observing your natural body language. They're not observing you. They're just observing what you're doing, which is you're trying to stop a bad human trying to harm others. So accidentally, they could think you're a strong, healthy person. That's not what strong, healthy people look like. They're different. So, as you can see, I really like to always separate evil humans from good humans. I like to always protect these terminologies of strong and good. And I like to always give it to people that it belongs to, which is good people. Because that's what the devil does that I hate so much. He portrays evil humans as if they're tough or strong or fearless or whatever. Just like demons like to label themselves tough and strong and scary and powerful. Get it? It's just that black bag, right? Evil, not the demons. Just evil that God created. That's just a quality of evil. It likes to act like it has the qualities of good. Get it? It's a liar. Because evil is just the opposite of good. Because good means, for example, let's pick a quality of good. Truth or truthful. Evil is lie and liar. You see? So darkness or evil just means opposite of good. So then what is another quality of that's bad or bad? Flipping something, right? Flipping something as something it's not. So evil also has that quality of actually pretending to be good or pretending to have the qualities of good. So then humans who are blended with that black bag, right? They're not evil themselves. They just became evil. Evil is a concept. It's external. You can become it. You can get mixed with it. They're a living being, you know? They weren't created evil. They just blended with that evil or darkness. Okay, Now they're going to also have the qualities of evil, that black bag. They're going to sort of embody, they're going to be the one that does it as an example for you. And they're going to flip things. They're going to act like they're not scared, that they're tough, that they're powerful. They can do anything. They can just rape anyone. They can just kill anyone. They're going to act like they're tough and powerful and do whatever. They're going to act like they're God or something that can just do anything, but attribute immorality to this image, right, that's trying to act like some God. Because obviously rape and all that filth has nothing to do with God. That's what I'm saying. They're just going to try to act like they're God in the sense of strength, power, greatness, dominance, right? But then filthy and whatever is what they're going to then connect that to. You get me? Whew. See, I didn't say they just try to act like righteous people or the lower ones who are just moral. Their sort of qualities of bravery and strength, and they're the dominant ones. They also try to act like God too. You get me? Not just the actual creation, not creator, but creation that is actually the strong one, which is good people. They don't just try to act like them, as if they're them, you know? But they also try to act dominant in a sense that they try to act like dominant as in creator too. Do you agree? Because what is the devil doing when he disrespects God and disobeys him and gets kicked out of heaven? What is he really trying to say? Right? He's acting like he can somehow, I don't know. I'm not saying he's trying to challenge God. There's no such thing. He just disobeyed him. No one is ever going to try to actually challenge God, because that means you can actually challenge God, correct? That actually means you have the ability. No one has the ability. They just disobeyed him. Okay. I'm saying when the devil portrays himself through religion and through your thoughts, what does he act like? As if he actually challenged God. Get it? And you might be like, what? You just said they don't have the ability to do that. How could... Concept. Hello, I just told you God created evil. God created evil. He created a part of evil, right? Because there are many qualities of evil, right? Like that bag is filled with qualities, liar, cheater, etc. One quality is to flip something as the opposite of what it is. So because he absorbed himself with evil, he became evil. He's just going to have that quality. You get me? It's not actually a living being, right? A spirit that's a demon, aka a devil, or a human that's evil human that's actually challenging God. No. They're just going to have the quality. The evil that God created just simply naturally radiates. It's the opposite of the truth. You cannot challenge God. So what's the opposite of that? If that's the truth, that you can challenge God. Okay, so evil is just going to say those, look at my words, lies to your mind. It's going to lie to you about everything. If it's trying to make you homosexual, it's going to lie to you and say this is who you are. You get me? It's going to lie to you. You know that's not who you are. So that's why we call those people liars and not innocent, right? As if the thoughts trick them or something. No, the thoughts are just lying to them, but they know it's a lie. So that's why they're also liars and not a victim. You get me? Okay, but what I'm saying is, what is it doing either way? When demons try to act like they're powerful or whatever, or when they actually lie to you about something, which that comes out as also sometimes humans also lying to you. They're flipping the truth. So that's not really them, get it? It's not a creation having strength to do things like that we would say is going to require what? What does it require? Power. Creations of God don't have power. Only God is powerful. So then how can a creation, do things that require power if they're not powerful? God created power. It's that black bag over there. You become evil, you develop those qualities basically, embellishing itself with you. What's the word? Blending itself with you. You get me? It just enters your system. And those lies come out of you. You behave in a way that somehow people get thoughts about you, and something that seems like emotion. And whatever those thoughts and emotions are saying to them about you is actually not true. They're going to see you, you're going to stare at them because you're a pervert, you're weak as hell, you're scared as hell. But if witchcraft is done to that person's mind as you're possessed to stare at people, the thoughts are going to say to them that you're scary, you're powerful, you're tough. Get it? You're not projecting that to that person. You're just a pervert. You're just nasty. evil that blended itself with you is projecting those thoughts about you to that person. So a healthy person would be like, what the hell? Are you staring at me? They're going to come after you because they're the dominant one, correct? You're the weak one here. You're lying, you know? You might be like, you just told me those concepts are just coming out of me. I didn't project it to them. How can I be lying? Because you still know what the evil is projecting out of you, correct? If you're an evil human, you still know what you are technically being used by darkness to project to others. You still know, you know? And obviously at some point you start to agree with darkness and act on it. You might actually act like you're dominant, right? You might actually use words. Like humans will make jokes about rape or whatever. You know? They describe a female like the weakest thing on the face of the earth. They connect it to the gender or to the nature, as if we don't have different types of humans who are female. Weak and strong ones, just like males are weak and strong. And in that weak and strong, there's actually different levels. God have mercy. You're lying, see? Another lie, not just the lie that you're obviously acting dominant, the lie that you're right, accusing a gender of things it's not. But you're also lying in the sense that you're twisting the way God created them. God didn't create them like that. People choose to be weak and not fight you. You know? It's like your kid who's really scared of the bully. And another kid you have who beat them up. Are you going to say the one who's scared of them, that that's their nature? Are you going to say it's your fault? Your genes, what? You're not going to blame yourself. And you're not going to blame God. You know that's a quality. The kid has a quality of weakness. They can be brave like this kid you also have doesn't have that quality, but has the opposite. How did that happen? Demons just came to them and projected their weakness to them, and they agreed with it. And this kid, demons can't. They just, in their natural human free will, just simply chose to not be a coward. So just as you don't believe adults can be forced to be cowards, you believe it's their choice. You believe we're not cowards only when we're scared of things that are normal to be scared of, right? Like, maybe you have a disease and it's really painful. Things like that can make you uncomfortable, right? Your body's getting sick, but not a living being. You don't believe a living being, you should treat it like something you should be scared of. You don't believe in that. Okay, so since you're not supposed to be like that, right? What's the opposite of that? Treating them like that, treating them like something to be scared of. So then it comes from that black bag. It's darkness. It's a lie. It's flipping it. You're not supposed to be this way. So God didn't do that to you. He didn't make you a coward. He didn't make you fearful. Because it's from the black bag. It's from evil. He doesn't put evil in us. 2, if he did, then how would you succeed? He's so dumb. 3, you know he didn't create you that way. Because I just told you they're brave, strong humans. You know, therefore, if something is a nature, all of us have to have it. Homosexuals cannot say they're born that way. Because then the entire human species, right? Whatever they're accusing God of making them have, an entire species has to have it. See, I changed my words. I didn't say the entire human species has to have it. I didn't, in order to honor me and other healthy people, normal humans. I didn't say the entire species that we had. No. Look at my words. I said, then they would say, an entire species has to have it. They never say that. They just say they're like that. And they just, inadvertently, right, indirectly are connecting it, therefore, to a species, not the human species. They cannot connect it to the human species. You might be like, prove it. They actually never say it. They never say humans are like this. Never. They're always describing themselves. They're just human too, right? So it makes it seem like they're talking about everybody. No. That would dishonor the righteous people God created, the normal humans God created. They're just describing themselves. But they're just gonna use the word human, get it? They don't mean the species of human, all the different levels of humans. They just mean human as in like they're also human, right? Just human. They're not a dog, obviously. So you choose who you want to be. Good is your nature, as in it's what you're created by God to innately choose. You're born with the sort of basic foundations of good. The baby's not going to be born, see evil in front of them and laugh. They're going to cry. So, okay, the basics are there. We're just not going to say you're created good, as in like the actual 90, 80, or 100% type of good. You get me? Like the full thing, the full glass. Because then that would mean good is always becoming evil, which is not possible. You're like, what? But a young person was not evil technically. They weren't acting evil, but then as they got older, they became a criminal. Get it? They're ignorant at the beginning, so they behave. The word is behave. Society taught them to behave. That's not their heart. They're already evil. They have envy, hatred. They're already evil, therefore. Because that's what makes you evil, not only the action. The heart is what makes you evil. So in their heart, they already chose evil. But in this society, they get punished for it, correct? They act on it, so then they don't act on it. It doesn't mean a good person became evil. It means it was a manipulative evil human. They were hiding it. It's not a good kid. They just grow up acting normal, get it? So they're scared of consequence. Okay, so then when they grow up and they're more older, they feel confident to disobey, right? What they were forcing themselves to obey before, those rules in society and just morality overall. And now they actually act like their heart was all these years. Okay, so a good person did not become evil. Don't accuse people who are good. Because these are polar opposites. An evil person, their heart is filled with hatred. A good person, their heart is filled with love. Love cannot turn to darkness that fast. It's impossible. You know, so that's why you're just a blank slate. You're just ignorant. You can therefore become evil. You get me? But when you're a blank slate, it looks like you are good. Because when you're a blank slate, you don't do bad things. So you guys just think the absence of evil means good. No. You know, there's actually a good person, meaning they chose this path. Their heart is filled with love. There's an actual evil person. Their heart is filled with, right, hatred. We're not going to say then there's a middle because that confuses it. Makes it seem like they can flip. No, there's the initial stage. Ignorant. So the ones who would, right, normally if they were given life, they live longer than toddler age. The ones who would, by choice, choose evil are the ones that are going back and forth. They're the ones going to evil by choice. Then people call them to repent to God. They repent, they change, they become normal. Some love technically enters their heart. They're the ones who are confusing the system because they're coming back due to what religion teaches you to repent and stuff. So they're confusing the human being. They're confusing the human race as if evil could become good. As if they just saw boom, boom, mixing like that. No, you have the basic foundation, you know? Good is just there. It's just in your system. It's just normal to you. You're born, you just naturally, there's no darkness in your heart. So darkness is what's out of your heart. It's not in you. But you're not a good person, as in like good itself. So that's by choice. You have to pick it. Okay, some picked it. It's hard to get them out of that. You know? It's hard to get them out of it. Because it's like a full glass. Well, these ones, they're fighting with that basic foundation, right, which therefore their nature of, right, good that God put in them, put in all of us. That is supposed to then make them choose good, right? It makes it easy for them. They're fighting with it. That's why they're a sinner. Why are you fighting with it? Why are you teaching yourself to be jealous and hateful and envious? When that guilt comes to you, that's good, get it? That's that basic foundation saying, what the hell's wrong with you? What? Did you just stare at this person? It's like a person fighting with you and saying, what the hell's wrong with you? That's your conscience. So that conscience is fighting with you. What the hell is wrong with you? You fighting with it. You're saying, get out of my head. I don't want to remember that about myself. You're just going and going and going and going into what the darkness is calling you to. I just said we're all blank slates. And no one's created good in that. Created good. You get me? Since then that's not possible, how then they just go off to evil? They might be like, well, you're confusing us. How can we have some foundation of good? It's a foundation of good, but it's not morality in that sense. It's not like that sort of conscious choice of a good actual person filled with love. It's not that one. It's not the full glass. So then a better terminology for it, if you're getting confused by what I say, basic foundation, which then means it's our nature. But God did give you a good start. You can't say it's not your nature to be good. Because the basic foundation of good is in your system, not a basic foundation of good and evil, and they're fighting or something. No, evil is outside of you. God didn't put any basic foundation or amount. Foundation just means a percentage, 1 or 2%. He didn't put a percentage, an amount in that into you from evil. He just only put some of good into you. Why? So you can actually make a decision. If he put all of good in you, what's the decision for? You're already good. You're already done. The glass is full. You're a very moral, loving person. What the hell are you choosing? Then the whole purpose of us coming to this life is useless. Because get it? The whole reason God created you is to worship him. But in order to worship him, you have to obviously be good, right? So you have to choose good first. You can't just worship him. That requires love. And be hateful. You're going to hate God then. Get it? So the whole reason we're born and created and brought to this world by God is so we would make a decision, good or evil. What do you want to do? Okay, it's not logical to then create you good. What decision is there for you to make? This is the other evidence that you're not created good. And people just become bad. You're disrespecting good then, as if good is something easy to switch from. It's not easy to switch from it. It's a love. It's a big emotion of love good people have. You get me? What you think are good people becoming evil is people who just didn't act on evil, criminal behaviors when they were younger. And all of a sudden, as they aged, they became a shooter. They weren't good all those years. They were not a shooter. Get it? They were just an empty shell. They already, then after that empty shell, chose evil, but they just weren't acting on it. There's no sort of vivid big action. They're hiding their evil from you. They have a heart that's filled with evil, which means hatred. So, okay, they already did choose evil. They're just not expressing it. They're acting normal. Because, see, I told you, good is the normal one. Since it's normal, even the evil ones have to act good or do good. So then you think everyone's just born good. Because, get it? By nature, as an evil human, you have to do good. Otherwise, you're going to go to prison or something. Okay, so you're forgetting that's the reason they're not exposing to us that early on in life they chose evil. Because you wouldn't need me to say it to you. You'd see with your own eyes what I'm telling you is true, that they were already evil at a young age. You can't see that if you are, as a human species, right? The way God created us, the good ones, just God's laws taught us to just make good the norm. If that wasn't the way God did things, he just said leave it blank, then evil humans from a young age, right when they're born, they're empty slate, and then they choose evil in their heart, and now they're evil, they would express it right away. People would be like, oh, kids are already good or bad. They'd already see that it's at a kid's age that people choose good or evil, not adult or teen. You'd see that, and you wouldn't need me to say this to you. You wouldn't need me to, as if like I'm teaching you. You wouldn't need to be taught. You know. But I have to tell you this because the evil human doesn't act evil in terms of big actions that expose that. They do small, like bullying, mean, gossip, hatred, envy. You as a parents and human beings who are shallow just don't like to call them evil, though. For some reason, you like to protect them because they're young. It's an evil person. Goodness. They just have a chance to repent and change. You can train your kids to be good, obviously. That doesn't mean that you mock good people and call them good too. You know, just because they're young. Don't mock actual good people as if they also were envious or whatever. No, good people don't feel envy and jealousy. Humans are shallow. They have a lot of evil qualities in them. They just act normal. You think that's a good person. That's not a good person. You know? The average person is evil because it's in your heart, not your actions only, because the actions, they have to pretend to not want to do those bad actions. Otherwise, there's legal punishments in this world. So that's why you think there's a lot of good people and a few criminals. Because because the evil ones are doing behaviors that are normal, technically good, in order to survive and not go to prison and be killed or whatever. That's because they're hiding, because they're not considered normal in God's laws, in human eyes, just in terms of like human as in like the species, because good has to be the one in charge. So that's how you know good is God's nature. Good is the laws, the foundations of his laws when he creates anything. Because then why does good get to judge you? Why does it consider the evil one a criminal? Why is there no neutrality where they both believe they can exist? Why does good believe it has the right to kick you out and punish you and kill you if you're evil? Because good is normal in God's eyes. Look at my words. I didn't say good is good. Normal. So good is normal. Get it? It's normal as in it's your nature. It's normal. So if evil humans just do the behaviors that then are considered normal, right? If they do it too, and they just have to hide the evil in their heart, they know they won't be killed, punished, etc. So then, duh. To survive is the only reason they don't come out as children, acting like the predators they are in real life, that they already decided early on they are as kids, you know? But they're already evil. It's just as they age, since they're ignorant of many things that are evil, right? They don't know what rape is, right? As they age, demons have to teach them what evil, specific types of it is, in order for them to pick one and be a perpetrator of that type of act or crime. You get me? That's why it seems like it takes time, because they have to be taught. That's why good is not something you need to learn, because when you're born, you just know how to be normal. You just know, right? Not to hit anybody. You just know. You get me? You don't need to learn, because it's normal. So then when people say people are taught morality, even you right now are teaching us morality. So what's going on? Isn't everybody teaching you good? No, we're teaching you a higher level of wisdom or understanding of good. We're not teaching you how to be good. We're not teaching you good. We're just sort of explaining what good is, even though you know what it is. We're explaining it, and at that point, as we explain it, we get to a higher level of explanation, which is like wisdom. And now you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. At some point, some of you won't know. So then it seems like the thoughts are going to come to your mind and say to you, well, good is something we learn, therefore it's not our nature. Otherwise, you taught it to us. God also taught it to us. No, 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 no. The basic fundamentals of good versus evil, just simply good. God already created you to be pulled to it. It's your nature. It's that consciousness. You know right from wrong. You don't like evil, but you like good. You got it. You got it. You're technically normal from birth. You're the one who just choose to flip themselves as you age. All people are teaching you, like your parents, and then teachers, and then as you get older, religious people, is just higher concepts of understanding good, but not the basics. The one that allows you to be normal and not a predator. See? Powerful, right? I said basic. You wouldn't say basic is, oh, don't have sex before marriage. That doesn't make you evil. What makes you evil is harming others, or as well as the idea, right, that first precedes that, which is the actual idea, right, of wanting to and liking to actually harm others. It's just the idea getting into your heart of actually harming others, right? And then actually acting on it. Okay, there you go. God already created you with the basic percentages, the first few percentages or basic foundation of consciousness that just naturally, right? You have the knowledge and understanding that that's evil and wrong. You know that, and you don't like it. Because what if you know something, but you don't necessarily agree with it? You might know it's evil, but what if you like it, right? You also don't like it. God did not create you to like it. You get me? So he created you in a way that you don't like it, but he also created you in a way that you also know it's wrong. Two things. Okay, so you're not drawn to it because you don't like it, because that's not how he created you. And you don't, in terms of mental, right? Because that was more like feeling. In terms of mental, you're not gonna think it's okay or normal or healthy either, which I just told you. When you were young, or when you see toddlers, even babies, just when they see bad behavior, no matter how small, they don't like it, they cry, they avoid it. You know, even things that are not evil but misunderstandings, right? But if you misunderstand, you could get hurt. Like I saw this video of a baby who keeps trying to touch this little cat. And the cat just literally, no pushing, nothing. He just used his hand to just like get this baby's hand off of them, right? That sort of assertiveness, not from a place of, right, this kid is a pervert, not that type of high level predatoriness, right? It's a situation where they're a kid and they're trying to touch the cat in a sort of hostile way. Because that's how you know some kids, that darkness is entering them already. Because some kids are just not like that. When they're born, they're just more gentle and soft. Do you agree with me? Okay, and some kids, they're babies, but they're trying to grab the cat like a toy, right? They're trying to grab a parent or they punch the parent. You guys think that's an accident. What the hell is wrong with you? You actually think punching someone is an accident to you as a baby because you don't know right from wrong? What? No, it means it's like they have a conscience. I know it doesn't make sense. I know it seems like they're too young. But God already created us with the ability. It doesn't matter our age. See, he's not making that type of judgment on you in that sense, right? No one's saying, khalas, let's end this person. They're a predator. We're not labeling the kid. We're just saying the system of evil has entered them. We're not going to say this kid is pure in that sense. Some darkness has entered them. The kid is a bit rough. The kid is a bit unhealthy when it interacts with the creation of God versus objects, right? You can throw a toy around all at once, but a human, right? An animal. The kid has already learned to be a bit too rough and unhealthy and weird, and we could connect that to being violent or whatever. Okay, so then that's why the parent wouldn't just be like teaching them. You've seen it. You might grab their hand slowly and be like, no, don't do that. But how do you still do it when you stop the kid like that? The baby, not necessarily a kid, because kid implies sort of a bit more conscious. A toddler, how do you stop them when they're maybe grabbing the cat? Still, you, in your conscience, when I observe you doing that as human beings, you're already projecting to the kid that what they did was evil and that the kid technically is evil, that the kid did something bad. Not evil as in like evil, but that where their behavior came from is evil, that the kid is not pure. You're already projecting to that child that they developed a bad quality, which is what I mean by evil. I think the way I said that, you might have been sort of like, no, I didn't say the kid was evil. Evil just means bad quality goodness. You agree with me, they have a bad quality. As a parent, you're freaking out, no, right? You stop them like that. If you didn't get enough chance to maybe say it slowly, no, right? It's too fast maybe, right? Okay, how is your reaction? Correct? You're already implying the kid right, is responsible for what they just did. And so you're then trying to remind them rather than teaching them. You don't see it as something they don't necessarily know. You're seeing it as your job to remind them that's not okay. Because without you even knowing, unconsciously you know it's your nature as a species that you know right from wrong. It's just in your conscience. That's why when you tell the kid, you don't teach it to them as if it's something they've never heard or seen. You tell it to them as if they already know. No, don't do that. It's okay, baby. So-and-so is just tired. You talk to them as if they know, but you're reminding them. You don't talk to them as if they don't know what good is. As if they don't know what grabbing an animal like that is bad and violent. You don't talk to them as if they're dead shells. You talk to them as if they have the ability, which is what I mean by consciousness, to know right from wrong, and you're just simply reminding them of the good side. Therefore, you're teaching them to be good in that sense. It's like a reminder rather than I'm actually teaching you. You don't know nothing. You're like an object. You don't treat babies like objects when it comes to evil versus good, and you have to actually teach it like an object. You don't treat them like the way God taught us things, right? He actually created things into us. You don't treat yourself like you're in God's position or something. That's sort of not you being a God, but like God's position in the sense of you creating something or teaching something in that sense from, scratch. No. It's like innately you already know the kid knows right from wrong. It's like you're just trying to remind them. It's like you're just trying to guide them. You know? You just know what the kid did. A higher level of consciousness, right? If they really grab someone's cat, or a human who's mature grabs a cat that roughly, you know that comes from a place of evil. So because you know where that comes from, right? That behavior, keyword, if it was conscious, right? If it was done in a sense by a mature being, you know that comes from evil. So you already do believe what the kid is doing is evil then. You get me? You're just not attributing that to the kid like you would attribute it to an adult who grabs a cat. You know where the behavior comes from in terms of like the source. It comes from darkness. It comes from evil, right? Violence. Okay, but then you see yourself that you have to educate, guide, and remind this creation of God that already has a consciousness that what they're doing is wrong. So you just remind them it's wrong, that you shouldn't grab the cat like that, and you touch the cat very gently, so then you're teaching them to do the same. You get me? I just hope you understand the explanation I'm trying to give. Parents, stop the kid and guide them in a way that unconsciously they're projecting outward. That this kid knows what they did was not okay, but that they're just guiding them. Because humans just know there's just something out there that can just, they may not attribute it to demons, They just know there's just something out there that makes babies act that way. They don't label the kid evil in that sense, right? Until a certain age, where they think, right, the consciousness is higher, mature sort of being. But they don't guide a kid as if they actually believe the kid doesn't know what the hell they're talking about. No, you talk to them as if they know what you're talking about, as if they know it was wrong to grab the cat like that. So then that means without knowing, you're already agreeing that you believe God's creation, whether animal or human, knows right from wrong. Consciousness is already in them that knows right from wrong, and that they don't just know it, right? Because it's not the same thing as then thinking the good one is. That's not the same thing as being pulled to the good one. Because what if you're just empty? You're not pulled to anything. They're pulled to the good one. But it's like you expect them to be empathetic. You expect the baby to be sweet. You don't expect your baby to be darkness, and you have to train it to be normal, correct? So there you go. You do agree with me, you're just not awake like I am to explain these things to you. So that's what I'm saying. God did create us with consciousness that knows right from wrong, but also sees it the good as normal. We see good as normal. We don't see evil as normal. Versus we're just neutral. That's disgusting. And when you fight with me and say, "Hell no, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't know that. I only know that now because I'm an adult." You don't know. You're not telling the truth because you're not awake like me to remember that you do know that, because that wisdom part of you is not active right now. You know, you're not thinking and pausing. You do know. You depict it in your behaviors. You depict it in the way you raise children. You depict it in what you expect from humans. So then when humans become evil, then they're going to do the opposite of this. They're going to, one, the actual predators will do harmful things like rape. I always have to use this one because it's the type of criminal that likes to always lie. Murderers usually just say, yeah, they're hateful, they killed someone. They like to be honest. Thieves usually like to be honest. It's always the pervert that likes to lie and call what it does as something that either they didn't know was wrong, or they somehow liked it and it was normal to them. And they always like to do this nonsense of saying nonsense, you know, as if they're not normal like the rest of us, as if they don't know what evil is, and as if they don't see the way we see it as something harmful, what they do to people. They just like to lie. It's the most harmful character from that dark black bag, you know, of darkness. Therefore, they're the highest evil. The pervert is the worst of God's creation, not the murderer. So for that reason, they always twisting things. They're the only ones who like would twist things usually. When they go to jail or prison or they're in the courtroom, they're going to say things like, right? Or for example, they're male and they raped a female, they're going to be like, or a child, and they're going to be like, they didn't know that was inappropriate. They didn't know that was bad. They didn't know they need consent. Look at the nasty words they use, consent. It's like saying, it's like a murderer saying he didn't know he needed consent to murder someone. You get me? Even though this is not a good example, obviously, because good people kill too, right? They kill you for punishment for bad things you do. All right, rape is just pure evil. So for that reason, we can't ever find another example. But let's find another example, maybe among the rape group or the pervert group or character. Let's say they abducted someone, maybe. They're going to be like, they didn't know. The human wanted to go with them. It's insanity. They're going to treat their behavior as a normal thing. And that they just didn't know it was appropriate to do it or not. Like that. They're going to mock right versus wrong. They're going to act like as if a human being was created by God to actually see something as filthy and as harmful as touching someone's body. I didn't say rape, just simply the act of being creepy to people. They're going to act like a human is created to have the ability to actually have that level of filth and darkness enter their heart and just actually think normal, to just do that. As if a healthy, normal person just randomly gets in your personal space. They want to mock normal people. When the ones who actually are right starting off from being a predator, they're trying to touch people, they're staring, whatever, then to the actual ones who are actually groping people like that, middle level, and then third, harming people, rape, molestation, etc. They wanna erase the fact or the truth of how, one, this is no longer a human, two, the amount of darkness that's in their heart, and three, how long that darkness was in there. It was there for years, just so you know. It requires a long time for them to actually then go against their own nature, because they have a body too. They know what it would feel like. So they're going against their own nature, that, right, the victim would feel. As if they don't know how to feel that way. Get it? We're empathetic creation. We know what the victim would feel because we're human too. They want to act like God created them to actually have the ability to not see things from that person's side, as if they were in that person's position. And two, they want to act like evil is not obvious to them. See, this is no longer about the person. They want to act like evil is not clear or obvious from good. And it's just a random behavior to them. And you have to teach them. You have to teach them to seek permission or consent. Otherwise, they might actually do it. They want to mock the severity of evil, as if it's something that actually looks normal to you, unless people teach you it's bad. God have mercy. We can only teach human beings that non-evil sins are bad for them, like sex outside of marriage. You get me? Instead of you waiting to get married, someone might just date, correct? And just be sexual with you, right? Like that. Those are the things we have to teach you. Our sin to God. You don't know. You may not know religion. But evil, it's your nature to know what the hell it is. You know? Just know this quality is in the average human, then this quality of lying. It's just a unique version of lying, like twisting the truth. You know, by acting like A doesn't exist, but B is in there instead. So that's why these humans who lie, gaslight, sabotage, you know, very, very high level transgressors. If they're using perversion, then they're both a thief, a murderer, and a pervert. Because they're killing people's lives. They're killing their honor if they harm them or touch them. They killing their honor, correct? Because humans have honor. They're not objects. Their body's honorable. You can't touch it. Your body's honorable. So if you became filthy, you're no longer honorable. And you're trying to transfer that quality to then others who are not like you. You're trying to touch people. You get me? Because you're a pervert. You're trying to touch people. You get me? At some point, they might try to touch another human who's filthy too and not honorable like another pervert. But you get the point. In that context, they're the one we would first label not honorable if the other one is also a pervert. So it's like, get it? They're trying to project their qualities to others. They don't find their body and themselves as honorable, right? And as, right, a being that you can't touch. So they then want to project that to others and try to touch others. But if they saw themselves and their body as honorable, then they would not have the ability to become perverted, which means trying to touch others. Because you think their body doesn't have honor. Get it? You don't see them as honorable. You know? It doesn't mean you think that person's nasty or anything. No. It just means you're not treating them. I'm not saying you don't think they're honorable. No, you're not treating them as if they're honorable. So what are you doing? You're lying. You're manipulating because you don't believe they don't have honor. You do believe they have honor. But you're treating them as if they don't have honor. Get it? You're treating them as if they're not a human, even though they're human and you know that and you agree with that. But you're treating them as if they're not human. Therefore, you're going against nature. You're going against, therefore, morality or good. Therefore, you're going against yourself and the way God designed you, because that's your conscious. You're going against your mind then, because your conscious is made to think this moral way. And you're going against it and treating people the opposite of what they are. You're treating them like something to just grab and harm. You get me? And as you do filth, you're harming your own body because you're using it to harm others. And then the filth itself, you don't have to direct it at anybody. Just the filth itself of rape and just being perverted overall, of just peeping and staring and touching others. That doesn't disgust you the way that it should. That doesn't anger you the way it should. You're also psychologically sick and no longer human, therefore, because this type of darkness has actually mixed with you. It's not external from you. It's actually, right, mixed with you. So you're not a human then, get it? So since you're not a human, that's why you're able to do things a human cannot do, such as treating people worse than an object, treating people like they're filth or something, as if you can just touch them or whatever with filthy conduct. So they want to make it seem like it's sinful or bad or evil because you're touching them without their permission. What? So if a pervert goes to a human and says to them, if they want to rape them and the human agrees, then it's not harm, it's not rape. The hell's wrong with you? It doesn't matter. They ask or not. Are you going to say if a human asks to steal from you, then it's not theft? Come on. That's what they do, get it? That's what the predator does, the liar, the evildoer, the one who's filth and evil. They get mixed with that darkness that has that quality. Darkness doesn't have a body or a living thing. It's just darkness. It's like a substance. It's like a concept. So the qualities of it is what enters you if you become evil. We're just flipping things, the opposite of what they are. You treat evil like something that, if consent was there, then it's not evil or something. The behavior is evil. It doesn't matter if you get a human to say yes or no, whether they actually are filthy like you and agree to it, or they're being forced because you intimidated them. It doesn't matter what you say or do. As long as you do bad to people or filth or evil, we just need to judge your conduct. Your conduct is touching people, right? Then it's not bad because you didn't take their permission. And if you took, and then if you touch them, you're not gonna make it seem like then it's the same as when you, when a normal person hugs their family, or when a normal person hugs their friend, or when another person hugs their romantic partner. You're not gonna treat your behavior like that if you grab someone. But somehow the sin or the bad thing was the fact that you didn't take their permission. Don't you dare mock a hug. Something normal and healthy and loving. You get me? It's not the same behavior, and the lack of consent is the reason it's evil or something. You're disrespecting everything. Everything. Not just good people. No, the act of you grabbing a human. It could be someone you know, get it? You grabbing them with the evil intention and heart, from a place of hatred, from a place of wanting to be perverted to this person. That is what's making you and what you're doing and everything about this whole situation evil and filth. We don't care if they're your best friend. We don't care if they were actually your spouse. It doesn't become a hug. That was just a surprise. Oh, you scared the hell out of me. Ha. It's not like that because you knew them. And humans actually do that. They actually do that to people they know. And that person's dumb and didn't actually know they were just attacked with violence. Because the evil living being does what? It has the quality of being manipulative. What does it do? It fake smiles or fake laughs when it just violently attacks this person. This human, their conscience is uncomfortable, right? They know that was just an attack, but this thing's gonna laugh and it's gonna make it seem like it was an actual hug, but just a surprise maybe. But your conscience, you, the human, if this happened to you, what did you feel? Exactly, before you saw their face, right? Because let's say they grabbed you from the back. Before you saw their face, you thought that was an enemy attacking you. That's it. That's all you need to know. Just the conscience, what it told you. That is darkness, it's evil. It's an attack, it's a criminal, a pervert. But because you turned around and realized, oh, it's actually your friend, it's actually a sibling, it's actually whatever, and they're acting like they're just hugging you or whatever. Now the evil, that's how you know it's thoughts and not you. What happened to you that then made you change your perception? Not your nature. God didn't make you change your perception. It's not your nature to change you. You forced yourself to change your perception. You went against your nature of following that initial feeling, which is your gut. Correct? You went against that and forced yourself to, okay. You went against it. That's why you're uncomfortable as you try to go down in your energy level of anger and hatred. And to then, you're suppressing and repressing that feeling. So you're also being evil to yourself when you allow others to do evil to you. Or they do something evil that they can make it seem covert, right? It's not very obvious as much. And you allow them to shut it down as something normal. You're hurting yourself, and you can't do that unless you're immoral. You know? People can just be repressed in how they express themselves, and now they're not immoral. Obviously, good people don't have this problem. If what they're suppressing, right, or darkness or evil is trying to force them to suppress, has nothing to do with morality. You're just not expressing yourself, right? Maybe people ask you how you're feeling that day. Who cares if you suppress that? You're not obviously immoral. But if something bad happens, something immoral, and you don't express that it was immoral, and you suppress yourself, that's not you just suppressing yourself. And oh, poor you lack the ability to express yourself. You need self-esteem. No, it means you're also evil, get it? Because you don't have enough morality to go against that evil you just saw, correct? If that was done to someone else and you were silent, people will call you an accomplice. So you guys do agree with me this is immoral to be silent. Because when they do that to a third party, they're silent when a third party is attacked. You guys call that a crime or bad morality. When you do that to yourself, you don't think you're immoral. Yes, you are.